Welcome to Dodgers Daily. I'm Casey Porter. I'm so glad you decided to tune in. We have a great show for you today. Today we continue on with our MLB Pipeline Dodgers Top 30 Prospects series, this time on catcher, first baseman, big-time left-handed stick, Dalton Rushing, who took the world and minor league baseball and the Dodgers organization by storm last year after he got drafted in the second round. He was pick number 40. Unbelievable. There were 39 guys taken before Dalton Rushing, but there were. But hey, before we get into it too much, just a reminder, if you like this video and if you like this kind of content, go ahead and click that like button, leave a comment, tell all your friends about Dodgers Daily, become a subscriber. Then after you subscribe, go ahead and click that notification bell, turn on your notifications. That way, every time Dodgers Daily releases a new video, you will be notified and you won't miss anything from Dodgers Daily, and Dodgers Daily will keep growing and we can keep providing you content like this in the future. Okay, second round draft pick, Dalton Rushing out of Louisville. We're going to talk all about him, so let's not waste any more time and let's talk Dalton Rushing. This is Dalton Rushing from his Louisville days, and I wanted to show you this. One, because I wanted to make the point, playing for Dan McDonald there at Louisville, that is such a wonderful program. And the thing about being there at Louisville for Dalton Rushing was he actually had to sit behind an All-American and Henry Davis for his first 2 years at Louisville. Henry Davis was actually the number one overall pick in the 2021 draft. So I say that to say this, hey, it's just like the Dodgers. The Dodgers have some of the best talent in any organization in the world, which means if you're in the Dodgers, you're competing against the best. You're competing around guys on your own team that are just simply fantastic, which means nothing is given to you. You have to earn everything you get. Well, that's an environment that Dalton Rushing is very comfortable with, because that's the environment that he played with at Louisville. That's the environment he played with back at Brighton High School back in Tennessee, where he grew up. So this is a young man that will not expect any favors. This is a young man that understands competition. It's a young man that understands, being around the greatest players in the world and having to compete and earn all of your role, all of your playing time. I love that flat, the flat path by his hands where he's able to get on top of that baseball at the top of the zone. You have, a lot of these guys like to lift the hands nowadays and they have that hole at the top of their swing. Not Dalton Rushing, but then if you look at that, he's able to create some north and south with his bat angle. Although his hands still stay flat to the zone, he creates the north and south with his bat angle so he can cover the bottom of the zone too. So you saw him cover the top of the zone with the flat hands. He kept the barrel flat at the top, and then he can keep the flat hands and then turn that barrel north and south to cover the bottom of the zone too. That is very, very, very high level stuff. And right there you see him pull his hands inside the baseball. You're seeing some exact examples of why Dalton Rushing is such a great offensive player. Look at this. Watch him just pull the hands inside, turn on that ball. See how flat his hands came through that? And because the ball's at the top of the zone, the barrel stayed flat as well. But if you watch in some of these videos, watch some of the pitches that are at the bottom of the zone, and what you'll see right there, he creates a little bit more of a north-south bat angle, and therefore he's able to get to that ball. And another thing you're seeing here is you're seeing him pull the ball, you're seeing him hit the ball to the middle of the field, and those are the two parts of the field. This is a common theme for some of the better Dodgers hitters in the organization. See how flat that the barrel and the hands came through that, and he's able to hit that ball over center field. Is that, hey, you pull the ball for your power, and then you hit the ball to center field, and you use the big part of the field for all your doubles and singles. That combination, if you can turn on the ball for your power, and then you can also use the middle of the field, that's going to be a combination that allows a hitter to hit for home runs and have power, especially to the pull side, although you see here that Dalton Rushing has power to every part of the field, but then also have the chance to hit for a higher average like Dalton Rushing did once he became a professional, and also at Louisville. Boy, look how he came through that ball. That was actually a huge base hit right after he got sent up. There's Austin Guthrie. I love that young man. This is actually the playoff series with Great Lakes for the Loons. Dalton Rushing got brought up for that playoff series and had a huge base hit in that series that you saw right there. There you see the bat angle go a little bit more north-south, and this is what I'm talking about. When you use the big part of the field, there's more room for the defense to cover. That's where all your doubles are at. So by being able to use the middle of the field, he's going to hit a ton of doubles. By being able to turn on the ball, he's going to hit a bunch of home runs, of which we're going to get into some of his numbers. Now, here's some of his defensive play, and we're going to go through him throwing down and making some plays from the catcher spot. We'll get back to his offense here in a minute. Look at that quick release, though, and one thing I like, as a catcher, your glove's going to be in a different position every time you catch the ball. So if you bring your hand to the glove, you're going to be bringing your hand to a different spot every time. It's going to create inconsistency. Look at this great play. He bounces off on that bunt. Look how athletic he is. Of course, he played a lot of first base at Louisville, so he knew exactly where to feed that ball to keep the first baseman safe and actually give him a lane inside the runner to catch the ball with. But if you'll watch Dalton Rushing, when he throws down, he actually brings the glove to the hand. Watch this. Watch him catch the ball, bring the glove to the hand, and see that? The significance of that is the hand can be in the same spot every time. That's a snap throw behind one of the fastest runners in A-ball. That's Yainer Fernandez. This is a young man that he just picked off that steals a lot of bases. So that was a big-time back pick by Dalton Rushing. But look at that. He brings the glove to the hand, and so all you really have to do now, you've created consistency because you put the hand in the same spot every time. That way, no matter where you catch the ball with your glove, you just take the glove to that exact same spot every single time. That's Jimmy Lewis on the bump. So get a good look at him. There's another good throw, and look at that really quick release. Bringing the glove to the hand, he releases it about shoulder high. That's Taylor Young at shortstop. He was going to be safe anyways, but look at this great throw. Quick release by Dalton Rushing, right on the money. No tail to it whatsoever. That was going to be a close play, but that is just a fantastic, fantastic quick release. Really good throw by Dalton Rushing. That shows that if given the chance, here's another one. You see him bring the glove to the hand. That's Rain Don Cone you're looking at. So as far as throwing down, as far as bouncing around behind the plate, certainly good athletic ability for a catcher. Good quick release, an understanding. Look how he brought that glove to the hand, an understanding of how to get the ball to his hand. We're getting back to his offense and how to get rid of the baseball. So there's some of Dalton Rushing's defense. I wanted to show you that. Okay, at Louisville, 2022, what you're seeing here, he was a second-team All-American. He was a perfect game third-team All-American. He was All-ACC second team, All-ACC baseball academic team. That's another element that the Dodgers really, really like. If you dive into some of these guys, look how he's able to turn that barrel and keep the hands inside all at the same time. So he gets lift on that ball. Once again, turn the barrel to create the north-south bat angle, which allows him to get the ball in the air. The Dodgers love guys that are smart because, if you have guys that understand the game, you can teach them so much more, and you get a great combination of, data versus feel, and players do a good job of that. When I talk to them, I always ask that question. It's always interesting to see the differences between, using data and getting the feel for it, but you can tell Dalton Rushing really has a feel for hitting the baseball. Okay, so second round pick, draft number 40. Now, why did it take so long to get him drafted? Well, because he didn't catch at Louisville till his junior year, his last year there as a Cardinal. Like I said earlier, he actually had to sit behind the number one overall pick of the 2021 draft, Henry Davis. And so probably why he went that long was that you only had 1 year of tape on him actually catching, but he was the 102 ranked national player coming out of high school. So coming out of high school, he was a big deal. He was the number 3 player in Tennessee of any position. He was the 2019 District Player of the Year. He was a Tennessee Gatorade Player of the Year finalist. He went to Louisville, like I talked about, as a senior in high school. He had 491, 10 doubles, 6 triples, 11 home runs. He was an All-Stater twice. So big time recruit. He had anybody and everybody recruiting him coming out. He went to Louisville, which is a big-time program. We've talked about that, Dan McDonald. And there he was a second-team All-American in 2022. Perfect game All-American third team, as I said. All-ACC second team. Okay, he hit 310 in 2022. Look how flat that swing was. 23 home runs. And for a college season, that's around 55 to 60 games, 23 home runs. That would be almost the equivalent, one every other game. That would be like having 70 to 75 in a major league season. So that's incredible. 62 RBIs. Again, that's about one per game. That would be the equivalent of 150 to 160 RBIs in a major league season. His on-base percentage. So, he hit very well. Okay, he hit a lot of home runs. He had a lot of RBIs. And then his on-base percentage was 470 as well. So he got on base a lot. His slugging percentage was 686. His OPS for the entire season, all the way through an ACC season, all the way through a great non-conference that Louisville plays, OPS 1156. How about that? 23 home runs. That was tied for the fourth most in Louisville history. That was only 2 away from the single season record ever in the history of Louisville. And then also he was top 10 in walks in the ACC. He was top 10 in home runs. He was top 10 in on-base percentage. And he was top 10 in slugging percentage, which got him drafted in the second round, pick number 40. And again, probably took that long to get to him because you only had, hey, do you play him as a first baseman? Do you play him as a catcher? You only have, 1 year of catching experience to go by. Here is some more of the defense. I love that glove side. That's one that he pulled just a little bit because, the pitch was a little bit to his glove side, and it kind of took him that way. But look at this release. I mean, just straight over the top, quick, and, just very, very good, and very quick and very agile, just very athletic behind the plate. Again, learned very well. He considers Henry Davis, who, like I said, here's him bouncing out of the plate. And intentionally, you could see him right there throwing it inside, so he would not, if you don't throw that ball inside, then your first baseman is going to get stuck getting run into by the runner. So being a first baseman during his time at Louisville, he knew, hey, he had to feed that first baseman inside the bag to make sure that he had a path to catch the ball. So that's Maddox Bruns on the bump. Love this. That's Yainer Fernandez, that back pick. We saw that just a minute ago, but I'm going to rewind this to the front, and we're going to watch some more of his offense. I'm going to talk a little bit more about his statistics. Okay, rushing, check this out. Last summer, okay, after being drafted in professional baseball with Rancho and then a couple of games with Great Lakes, he hit 404. Try that on for size. He had 404 after being drafted in July. He had 7 multi-hit games in his last 14 that you're seeing here at Louisville. Let me say that again. In his last 14 games at Louisville, 7 of them were multi-hit games, and he was 20 for his last 56 at Louisville. 20 for his last 56. That's, the ACC Conference Tournament. That's a regional tournament against really good competition. That's ACC weekends. 20 for his last 56 in college at Louisville. Then he went 34 for 77 in August, his first month of pro ball. And at that point, he was 54 for his last 133, 406. That's what he hit for in his professional season. Well, not season, short season, August, and then a little bit of September after he got drafted. Okay, some geeky advanced data numbers on him. His home run to fly ball rate was 29.6, which anything, around 18, 19, 20% is considered in the elite category. He was almost 30%. That's just off the charts for a home run per fly ball rate. And his fly ball rate was right around league average. League average is about 43%. He was 37.5% on his fly ball rate. So he's about average on hitting fly balls. And when he hit them, he was in the elite category as far as a slugger, with his home run for fly ball rate at 29.6%. His pull percentage was 48%, which is where he got all of his home runs from. And check this out. His center field percentage was 34.7, which is great because that means he knows how to pull the ball for his power. And like I said earlier, he also knows how to use the big part of the field, which is where all of his doubles and his singles are going to come in. And this is kind of a common theme with Dodgers hitters. Doesn't go oppo a whole lot, only 17%, but that doesn't worry me. As long, if they take that pitch on the outer half and hit it to, say, left center or center field, I'm good with that. You don't have to go totally oppo on it. I consider using the middle of the field to be very, very good, and certainly good enough in that scenario, and probably better because, like I said, it is a bigger part of the field. Okay, his individual power numbers, his ISO. You know, you want your ISO and your K rate to be pretty similar. Hopefully your ISO is higher than your K rate. That shows that you have a good trade-off of power versus striking out. Check this out. His ISO was 354. His K percentage was 16.4%, which means his ISO was more than double what his K percentage was as a professional. And like I said, if you break even with that, that's a good trade-off between power and striking out. And he was double in the power category as he was striking out. That is just absolutely insane. That is incredibly good. And check this out. You know, as good as he was, as many home runs as he hit, as many doubles as he hit, as well as he hit, his walk to strikeout ratio was exactly 1-to-1. So every time that he struck out, he matched that with the walk. What a wonderful young player Dalton Rushing is. And like I said, probably the best thing about him, obviously, you go to Louisville to be the best because Louisville is one of the best programs in college baseball, period. Dan McDonnell has built an absolute superpower, and he did not shy away from competition. You know, when you go to Louisville and you see this All-American type guy playing the position you want to play in Henry Davis, you know, a lot of guys, especially with the transfer portal nowadays, would say, you know what, I'm going to transfer, I'm going to go somewhere else, and I'm going to go somewhere where I can catch and be the catcher, the starting catcher, without competition for a couple of years. He didn't do that. He embraced the competition. He wanted to be around the best. He wanted to compete with the best, and that tells you that he has goals of being the best. And he watched Henry Davis catch, and he used him kind of as an older brother. They're still good friends to this day. They communicate quite a bit, and because of that, his last year at Louisville, he became the catcher and became a second-team All-American, got drafted in the second round, and here we are right now. Dalton Rushing, one of the hottest prospects in all of baseball. So there you have it. There's my prospect feature on Dalton Rushing. Like I said, one of the hottest prospects in all of the game of baseball right now. The young man out of Brighton High School in Tennessee, and then Louisville, and then by second round by the Dodgers. And wow, did he take the Dodgers organization and minor league baseball by storm. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you tune in to all of our other MLB Pipeline Dodgers Top 30 Prospects features in the series. Hey, just another reminder before we get out of here, if you like this video and if you like this kind of content, go ahead and click that like button, leave a comment, tell all your friends about Dodgers Daily, become a subscriber, and then turn on those notifications. Hit that notification bell. That way, every time Dodgers Daily releases a new video, you will be informed, and that way you'll never miss a thing from Dodgers Daily. Dodgers Daily can keep growing, and we can keep providing you content like this in the future. As always, I want to thank you for tuning in and say, go Dodgers.